Hey, it's me, GV, and welcome to a guide on how to complete the final scenario in the Curse of the Last Reaper DLC for the Rise of the Golden Idol. This is Whishbloom, the final case in the DLC, and we're gonna explain it as well. So, first puzzle here is right there. We've basically got to figure out what's going on in the airship. So, here's the airship down here, and we've got basically, all the controls and stuff over here. So here's the solution if you just want that, but also to turn left, ensure the right engine power output is greater than the left engine. That just honestly makes sense, like just logically, you know, if you think about like, okay, so the left engine, the right engine is more powered, then obviously that's going to push the airship to the left, right? And then opposite for the right. So it's just, you can kind of just figure that out normally, but also these little levers give you a clue to that as well. And then to ascend and to descend here, we want to take a look at this guy's airship manual. And basically, it just explains that, you know, the air balloon gets bigger and bigger, and so the hydrogen gets smaller. So if the hydrogen is, if there's more hydrogen, then that's going to lift the airship up. So if the air balloon is bigger, then that means, the airship is going to go down. So to ascend, you have to deflate the balloon, and then to descend, you have to inflate the balloon. Which, again, a lot of the stuff you can kind of just figure out logically if you're just looking at the picture here. So then, weight limit in QFS. So that's written right down here. Actually, right here. Max carry weight equals 300 QFS. And then weight limit in kg is going to be just, so 1.5 QFS equals 1 kg. So if I remember how I did the math correctly, basically you do 300 QFS, and then you divide that, I think, by 1.5, and then that gives you, you can basically convert that into kg, which is going to be 200. I don't remember exactly what I did, but trust me, I am not a math person, so this was, quite easy to figure out, even given that. But yeah, I think this dude over here did the math wrong, basically. And that's kind of what doomed the other guy. So pretty much, 300 QFS weight limit to 200 kg. Then Ivan's weight in kg. I keep getting these guys constantly confused because this guy is Ansel, and then the other guy is Ivan because he's, I think, called something else. But anyway, so if we go down here, we can see this guy is dead, and this guy is taking these Dr. Darren's Gracillin pills. So then if we go back over here to this magazine, we've got an ad for those pills, and it says, not for men under 70 kg, and it gives them common side effects, which this guy does not have, meaning he is at least 70 kg, right? So Ivan's weight in kg is going to be at least 70 kg. Then Ansel's weight in kg is at least 90 because he's circled right here. Heavyweight, he is, greater than or equal to 90 kg. So we know both of their weights. Now, basically, all we have to do after that is take a look at this rig here. They're using the orange cable, which pulls things at 100 or less, right? This math stuff just constantly confuses me. I feel so stupid. But anyways, this would be 100 or less, right? So we know whatever the treasure is weighs less than 100, but then also this one is 50 or less, right? So it has to basically be 50 to 100 is the general idea there, meaning the treasure's weight is at least 50 because they needed that to pull that out of the grotto. So if you combine that, 70 plus 90 plus 50, total weight, Ivan plus Ansel plus treasure in kg is at least 210 kg is going to be that. So it's a little confusing, mainly due to just, for me, it was like adding a digit, basically, like, is it 91 or is it 90? But yeah, a little confusing. Definitely not my favorite types of puzzles, the math ones, although this is pretty simplistic math. I just tend to confuse myself. So there's that one. Then if we take a look at the events, we're going to go to 1797. In 1797, Walter Keane rigged the lot, so he was tasked with entering the grotto together with Jimpo Jenkins. They hid the treasure in a cave. So basically how we figure that out is here's Walter Keane, and he's got blue ink, right? And then he also drew the X lot there. And then if we go down here, this guy also has a blue X as well. So Walter Keane rigged that with his blue ink. Then, if we go back, you can see everybody else has red ink, I do believe. Oh, he's got, yeah, blue as well. So I guess he just rigged all of it pretty much. Yeah, blue. I thought they had different colors, but yeah, Walter Keane rigged all of it. Then also, this guy here says maybe Jimpo is alive. So since the only guy they can't really see is Jimpo, and we know this is Walter Keane, then that means, yeah, this guy down here has to be Jimpo, right? So they went down there together. Then what I got out of this is that inside the cave, Walter Keane killed Jimpo Jenkins. Walter Keane then stole the Whishbloom. So what I got is there's this broken glass here, and Walter Keane's got glass on his shoe, as well as this guy has glass on his shoe as well. So I'm not sure if this is entirely accurate, but basically what I figured was Walter Keane grabbed some glass or just used his sword, I guess, because he's got kind of a sheath here, right? And then he went over here and he stabbed Jimpo. Now he might have killed him some other way, but yeah, the game tries to throw you off with the roots basically. But he killed Jimpo. And then he stole the treasure, which was, of course, the Whishbloom, right? The big treasure of the entire DLC. Before exiting, Walter Keane wrapped the Whishbloom in a Putridium vine because this masked the smell. So basically, if we go back to this time period, I think there's a letter somewhere. I believe it's right here. Yeah, so it's likened to that of rotting eggs. So basically, this thing right here is harmless, but it can mask the smells. So if we go back over this way, you can see right here, they're throwing down the Putridium wrapped Whishbloom, right? And then also this hat tells us that that's Walter Keane right there as well. So, yeah, so he tried to mask the smell by wrapping it in that vine. But because Jacques Triton sneezed, Walter Keane was caught and sentenced to death. Because this guy right here, he sneezes here, and then I think he even writes about, if I remember correctly, yeah, when I cracked open the chest, a potent sweet scent poured and filled the room. Pleasant though it was, it set me in a fit of sneezing. So since he sneezed again, he realized, oh, this dude's trying to steal the treasure, right? So that's basically the first set of events. Then, with events number 2, let's go back to 1927. In 1927, Myrtle Song, Eliza Swan, Ivan Kearns, and Jasper Wiles entered the grotto and found the treasure. So our typical squad that we've been following went down here and found the treasure. And so then, actually, I think they went into the previous zone. It was like right here. They found this, the treasure of Captain Triton. And then while winding it up, Ivan Kearns activated a beacon, because on this thing we could see with the winding machine, Kearns, who is basically like the leader of the, the dead leg bandits, whatever the heck they're called, used this beacon here to activate the airship down here, because you can see this little, telegraph machine, whatever. He's talking to Ansel there. So, yeah. Stop others may emerge from grotto with me. Stop. Bring Tommy. Stop. Ivan. So you can see they're in correspondence there. So while winding it up, Ivan Kearns activated the beacon. And then we can see Jasper's tied up here. So when Jasper Wiles climbed out, Ivan Kearns and Ansel Marsh restrained him, because they're obviously working together, as we saw in the first scenario. And then he's restrained here. Ivan Kearns then shot Ansel Marsh because he exceeded the weight limit. So yeah, basically if we go down here, you can see he's got a gun. I do believe that is missing one bullet. So you can tell that this dude shot somebody. And because of that, and because of the other guy being shot, we know that it was him that was betraying his friend. And the way that I figured out, like, the weight limit thing is because, it doesn't make sense. If he knew the weight limit, like, it just wouldn't add up, right? 70 plus 90 plus 50. you know, he had to know that basically the airship could not take all 3 of them. So he killed his friend because he exceeded the weight limit. He's basically planning to betray him the entire time. But because Ivan Kierns inflated the balloon, the airship plummeted, so Ivan Kierns drowned is the final little bit of that. And that basically is just because he's stupid. He didn't realize how this machine worked. So yeah, he kind of did the opposite, which you can tell by the levers, but also you can basically just tell by this book here that he kind of did the opposite here and made the airship sink rather than float because he didn't realize how it worked. So there's that, and then we've got events number 3. Meanwhile, in the grotto, and this one was the hardest for me to figure out. This one was really, really confusing for whatever reason. But meanwhile, in the grotto, and let's go down there, Myrtle's song promised to give Eliza Swan treasure if she found the Whishbloom, so we've got that written right here. I, Myrtle's song, hereby promise to give my share of the treasure to Eliza Swan if she's able to find the Whishbloom. To achieve this, Eliza Swan removed her gas mask and followed the Whishbloom's smell. And we can just basically figure out the smell from all the other things we've heard about the Whishbloom, obviously. But yeah, down here you can see a gas mask is removed, and Eliza Swan is the only one that does not have one. And it just makes sense, you know, oh, I can just remove this and follow the smell, because the smell is so potent. But after reading Walter Keane's letter, Eliza Swan realized that Myrtle Song knew the Whishbloom's smell transformed people, so Eliza Swan shot Myrtle Song. And this was the thing that really threw me off, this kind of image of, like, the Whishbloom transforming. I didn't know if this represented, like, you know, philosophical, like your mind expanding, or physical, you know, mutation. I was not picking up on that this entire DLC, so that threw me off. But basically, yeah. So Eliza reads this letter, which is written in green ink. So this dude over here, Walter Keane, has the green ink. So we know that he wrote that letter, although it should be, you know, relatively obvious. And then she knew that the Whishbloom smell transformed people. Well, she realized that Myrtle Song knew the whole time that it transformed people, so Eliza Swan shot Myrtle Song because Eliza Swan knows now that she's going to get, you know, transformed pretty much. So she shot her. We also have the gun down here. 5 of 6 bullets remain, so we know that she fired a bullet, and then she's got a bullet wound on her there. So then once you do all those, it unlocks the final epilogue 1 and 2. So we'll go here, which is a crazy scene. Basically, Ada, I think her name is, and then also Walter Keane here. But yeah, and then this basically puts everything together. So on February 27th, 1797, Jacques Triton and his crew pillaged a Lemurian ship after Ergen Patu tipped off Walter Keane, which this is like kind of difficult because this is mentioned very early on, so you might forget about this, but all of this has been already established. With the treasure in their possession, the crew got infected by the Whishbloom's smell, except for Eleazar Garner because he had no nose, which is a very clever thing to do because he obviously had that wooden nose. Really smart. Didn't pick up on that for like quite a while. Meanwhile, the Seven Seas Company searched for the treasure, so the crew hid it. While doing so, Walter Keane stole the Whishbloom, but he was caught and sentenced to death in the grotto. So that's kind of just putting everything together there. And then finally, epilogue number 2. On the way back to the ship, Ada Baker successfully poisoned everyone except for Stefan Garner, who then spared Ada Baker. So Stefan actually spared Ada, even though knowing that she poisoned everybody with that fake Primadol salt or whatever the heck it was called. On the journey back home, the remaining crew members killed one another except for Eleazar Garner and Stefan Garner, who escaped with the map, and we saw that in the other scenario where they're escaping on the rowboat. After making it back to Port Armando, Stefan Garner transformed and then fatally wounded Eleazar Garner, who in turn killed Stefan Garner, his own son. So that's at the very beginning of the DLC. Yeah, he turned into a beast, killed his dad, and then his dad killed his son. So very tragic. Meanwhile, back on the island, Walter Keane and Ada Baker also transformed. And that's this final bittersweet ending here with Ada turned into a, whatever the heck's going on with that. And then Walter, who, the weirdest thing was that Walter just doesn't look that different to me. I guess he kind of covers his enlarged cranium, but that was really kind of what was throwing me off. So there you go. That is everything, ladies and gentlemen. I'll show you the final little bit as well. I think it's this. You can pause and read this if you so wish. And, yeah, that's the DLC done. There's 4 videos on this channel for each scenario, so if you need help, go ahead and check those out. Subscribe for more guides. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I love pirate-themed stuff, so it was a lot of fun for me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Hey, it's me, GV, and thank you for watching that video. If you would like to see more, there is a ton of bonus completed series and more to come on the Patreon right up here. Also, check out these videos. And then finally, if you would like to support this channel and become a member, you can do so by clicking join under the video, and you'll get early stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see ya in the next video.